I've recently come to the understanding of how an addiction to struggle mindset will make the universe or the creator give you a reality that you don't want to experience. And because you're subconsciously addicted to struggle, you're not seeing how you're self-sabotaging yourself. You think that the world is against you, and that thinking in itself is a thought that's linked to the addiction to struggle mindset. Thinking that the world is against you, thinking that something is wrong with you, all stem from the addiction to struggle mindset. And until you realize that, you're going to keep living like this. Hello, my fellow awakening souls. I hope y'all have been well despite the state of the world. And I wanted to pick up off from where the addiction to struggle mindset stems from. And usually the mindset is picked up from our environment, whether that be our family, our friends, our culture, our communities. 9 times out of 10 is linked to one of these things. And until you separate yourself from the consciousness that these individuals are intertwined to, you will continue to get the same lack of results, or the results that you don't want for yourself. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that they're bad people or that you're a bad person. I'm saying that they haven't realized what they are doing to themselves yet. And you may have not realized what you are doing to yourself yet. And until you realize that, you're going to keep clicking with them and seeing the results that they see instead of the results that you wish to see. So you have to separate yourself from that lack mentality, that lack consciousness that they are linked to once you do become aware of your addiction to struggle. For me, I realized that I had an addiction to struggle mindset. And what I mean by that is, I realized the things that I would say or the thoughts that I would have. Things like, this course isn't worth the money, it doesn't work, or the mentor I paid, he isn't doing a good job, or the books that I'm reading isn't working, meditation isn't working. But all of those things were nothing more than tools. You can give a baby a drill and some screws and tell it to build something, but it won't do it, right? So does that mean that the tools don't work? No, that means that the baby doesn't know what it's doing. So that analogy, that example applies to us. We have all these tools to help us build the desired reality that we wish to experience. And it's not always that something is wrong with the tool itself, but that we don't know what we're doing with the tool, and that we haven't realized that we are the ones who need correction, right? And so if you don't realize that you are the one who needs the correction, then you're going to keep in this circle of not manifesting your desired reality. If you don't take a moment to become aware and to become conscious of the thoughts that you have on a day-to-day basis, of the words that come out of your mouth, if you don't correct yourself before you make certain statements or speak things into existence, you're going to keep reliving the same experiences that you don't want to experience. So I started paying attention more often to the words that I would say. And that's when I began to realize, like, wow, I really was addicted to struggle. I used to think that things had to be hard, that you had to get it out the mud, that things take time, but I didn't realize that I was adding additional time on top of the time that it already takes for things to come from the 4D plane into this 3D reality that we're living in. So I had to accept the belief that it's okay for things to be easy. You see, growing up, if you're hearing things like, man, it's just life, you have to get it out the mud, you're gonna have to struggle a little bit, you're gonna have to go through that pain. If you're constantly hearing those things from your family, your friends, and your surroundings, all of that is nothing more than mindset. You don't have to adopt it, you don't have to agree with it, but until you realize that you have this thing called free will, you have freedom of choice, and that you have the ability to change your life and change the way you think, that you don't have to agree with the thoughts of those around you. Until you realize these things, you're going to fall within the realm of reality, or the realm of the consciousness that these people around you are in. And being that you are a part of the creator of the balanced universe, you are a part of the all that is, that ever was and will be, you are a part of God itself. You have the ability to create the desired reality that you wish to experience. So you have the ability to choose whatever mindset and whatever belief that you want. And in choosing the belief and the mindset that you want for your life, it will manifest through you and come into reality. It will come into fruition. So if you're constantly allowing yourself to adopt the mentality that you have to get it out the mud, that things have to take a long time, that you have to go through hard things to be successful, then that mindset, that belief that you're cultivating for yourself is going to manifest through your life. Things are going to be hard for you. You're going to struggle to get results. Things are going to take a lot of time. Things are going to be harder for you. You see, you ever hear stories of people, and there's two people in the world that exist, right? You meet someone and they say, man, I made a couple $1,000,000 in 6 months to a year. It was crazy. It all happened so fast, but I'm grateful. But then you meet another individual who says, man, it took me 12 years. Me and my wife got divorced. I lost my relationship with my kids. But on that 12th, 13th year, I hit my first $1,000,000. You know, two people. So then you're asking yourself, what's true about life? And the question becomes, is it easy to get money or is it difficult? But the answer is that it's neither, but both at the same time. The only thing that's different is the mindset that you adopt. And so it starts with realizing that you may have an addiction to struggle mindset. And because you've seen your parents struggle, you've seen your grandparents struggle, you've seen your friends, mom and dad struggle, you equate getting large sums of money with being hard or difficult instead of realizing that I'm allowed to receive things easily. So now you automatically equate getting money or getting some type of success with something that takes a long time or something that is very difficult for you to do. So I'm not sitting here telling you guys that I'm a millionaire right now, I got $1,000,000 in the bank, but what I will say is that I am a wealthy individual, and that's just that. You don't have to over explain it. Allow the wealth to come to you. Allow the things to be easy for you. Instead of saying that life is hard and I gotta get it out the mud, you might say things like life flows and I allow ease. Instead of saying we're broke or girl, I'm broke, you say I'm in a season of building and wealth is on the way. You see how that feels different when you reframe and when you reword the way you speak over your life? And when you do these things, you actually will begin to see a difference in the way that or in the experiences that you're having. But if you just brush it off, which by all means, you have the right to do this, brush this conversation off. You can brush it off, but what if you try? You know, like what if you just truly try this shit out, try it, and excuse my French, but what if you just try consistently, see it through and see what it does for your life instead of just walking away today, being the same person that you've always been and seeing the results that you don't want to see or lack thereof results. Another thing that I've realized is that sometimes we tend to put time on top of time, and I said that before, and what I mean by that is we try to create our lives from a 3D place, even though the things that come into this realm are from the realm of 4D or the realm of the universe or just a plane that isn't on this plane that we exist right now, right? It comes from the realm of thought and then into reality, but a lot of us try to do actions to get results, and while actions is important in accomplishing your dreams, most of the work that you really need to do to change your life takes place internally. So you saying that I'm going to work 12, 15-hour shifts to get a certain amount of money, and I'm going to take this money and do this, and then I'm going to get my first million. You're making your life more harder than it actually needs to be. There's a lot of scriptures around the world basically all saying that same thing, and you already probably know what I'm about to say, and it's ask and it's given, you know. But because you don't believe that, because you've been addicted to the struggle mindset, so you haven't been seeing the results that you want to see, so therefore now you're thinking that, man, that verse don't mean nothing. Subconsciously, you don't even believe that word, that asking is given. You don't truly believe that because you have an addiction or struggle mindset, but because the people you surround yourself with and the way you grew up and the lack of internal work that you're doing for yourself. So now all you're doing is keeping yourself in a loop, thinking negatively. Sometimes you may not even think that you're thinking negatively, but the way you're thinking negatively is negative because it's manifesting something that you don't even want to experience. I'm gonna let you sit with that. And so I say this to say most of your work should be on the internal, because from the internal comes the external. When you work on your internal world, When your internal state of being is that of an abundant consciousness, is that of love, is that of peace, your external reality will reflect that. You experience what you are. And so if you are vibrating with the consciousness of lack, of separation, of division, of hate, of worry, of doubt, of fear, then your reality is going to reflect every single one of those things, and you're going to vibrate and attract and be around people, places, things, and situations that are in a place of lack, of worry, of fear, of doubt. But if you raise your vibration, you may not long remain so in that place as you continue to grow. And all of that begins to happen when you focus more on your internal world rather than your external world, and understand that this 3D plane, that this dimension that we're all living in, that we think is so real, is nothing more than an illusion. But that's a different topic for another day. You fix your addiction to struggle mindset, you begin to fix your life. Period. I'm wishing you peace, love, light, and healing, and I'll see you next time.